Let us discuss about the Bohr's atomic model. So this model is very important. So let's discuss about this Bohr's model. So the Bohr, the name of the scientist, who was the first person, he has explained quantitatively about the general features of the structures of the atom of that hydrogen and its hydrogen spectrum. So has combined some postulates of the classical theory of physics and also some postulates of the quantum theory. So he has postulated some of the important things. Let's discuss here. So first he is going to tell that an atom consists of the positively charged nucleus at the center in which the most of the mass of the atom is concentrated. You know this one, very familiar with this one. So if you take this as this is called nucleus, right? This is called nucleus. How this nucleus is made of? Nucleus is made of the positively charged particles, and this surrounding nucleus, the electrons will be revolving here like this. Right? So this atom consists of the positively charged nucleus. This is called positively charged nucleus at the center, in which most of the mass of that atom is concentrated at this center. This is called the atom. So atoms means because of the Coulombic forces of the attraction between the nucleus of an atom and electrons which are revolving around the nucleus that hold together called the atom. This is called atom. Second explanation. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in a certain circular path. Like this will be there. Just taking a simple. This is a nitrogen atom. So here this is nucleus and this electrons will be revolve around that nucleus. So in a circular path. So that circular path we are going to call as the orbits or energy levels or stationary states. So like this will be revolve. Electrons always revolve in a circular path. So that path is nothing but if you compare this planets, the planets will be revolve around the sun in the circular path like this. So next point, the angular momentum of an electron which is equal to an integral multiple of the h by 2 pi. So you know that angular momentum of the electron, that is mvr, is equal to integral multiple. This is called integral multiple of the h by 2 pi. So where h is nothing but the Planck's constant, and also here m is nothing but the mass of an electron, v is nothing but the velocity of an electron, and r will be the radius of an orbit like this. So in a circular path. So here h is Planck's constant, and here the value of n equal these integral values as 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So these values he has designated as k shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. He is going to name that those circular paths which will be revolve around the nucleus. He is designated as the K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell like this, etc. Next one, as long as electron revolves in a particular orbit, it does not emit energy or absorb energy. So what happens? This position is called as constant position, because at the constant, this is the nucleus. Around the nucleus, electrons will be revolve around the nucleus. So in a circular path, right? So here that does not emit energy, that does not absorb any energy. That is called stationary. It's simply it will be sitting there. So means that does not emit radiation or that does not acquire the energy. Let's discuss about the next point. As long as the electron revolve in a particular orbit, it does not emit energy or absorb energy. It is not going to emit or it does not going to be absorbed, because this position is called as constant position, because at the constant which will be revolve around the nucleus, electron will be revolve around the nucleus. So that time that does not going to do anything, right? That is called simply constant state. Next point, if an electron jumps from higher energy level to the lower energy, so lower energy level, what happens? The energy is the emitted, and when it jumps from the lower state to the higher energy level, then energy is called absorbed. So let's take let's draw simply. So this line is called ground state. So this is called ground state, and this is called excited state. So what happens when you supply the energy to the electron? What happens? That electron which will be excited in this state, right? So this is called E1 and this is called E2. So this E2 is called higher energy level, this one is called lower energy level. When you supply the energy, then the electrons which will be excited to its higher energy level. But this line, this energy level, it is unstable. So that's why due to this around fraction of second it jumps to its original state only. It jumps to its original state only. So that time it is going to emitting some energy. That energy is called energy is going to be emitted. And what happens? So this is called absorption. Here this is going to be absorbed and this is going to be released. So when you supply the energy to the electron, what happens? The electron which is going to acquire some energy, then it is moving to its higher energy level. So this higher energy level is called excited state level. So at the what happens, due to this unstable energy level, due to this unstable atmosphere, within a fraction of second, this electron which has reached its higher level, it comes back to its original state. That is called ground state. That is called lower energy levels. At that time, they are going to release some energy. That is called this emitted energy, and previous this is called absorption energy. Next point, the energy released. Here you can see here, energy is released and this energy is called absorbed here. So energy released or absorbed by an electron is equal to difference in the energies of the two orbits and equal to energy of the quantum of the radiation. It is very interesting. So he is going to differentiate between these two energy levels. That is called E2 minus E1, because E2 is the higher energy, E1 is the lower energy level. So he is going to differentiate that one. So the released or absorbed by an electron is equal to difference in their energies. That is E2 minus E1. E2 minus E1. That is going to call as the delta E. Delta E is nothing but the difference in their energy. He is naming as the delta E. Delta is nothing but the difference in their energy levels. That is equal to energy of the quantum of radiation. We got this one. E is equal to h nu, right? So this is called Planck's constant and this is called frequency, where the Planck's constant value, that is h, is equal to 6.6256 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. Let us discuss about the energy levels and radii of an orbital in a hydrogen spectrum. So here, he has given the equation that is called Rn is equal to n square into a naught. So this is the equation to calculate the radii of the stationary states for the electron. That is only Bohr's model which only focused on the hydrogen and hydrogen-like atoms. Let me explain about that hydrogen-like atoms. So here this equation, from this equation he is made use of this one, calculation of this radii. So here the a naught is equal to radius of the first stationary state, and that value of a naught is equal to 52.9 picometer, and whereas n is equal to 1, 2, 3 like this. So these are the called as principal quantum number. So these origin of this principal quantum number from the quantum mechanics only. So that's why I told that. So Bohr's model is the combination of the some postulates of the classical theory as well as some postulates of the quantum mechanics. So this comes under the quantum mechanics. So these he is going to name these values as n is equal to 1, 2, 3. These are called as principal quantum number, and Rn is equal to radii. So this is the equation to find out this equation. This is the equation to find out this stationary states for the electron. Next, he is continuing that energy of the stationary state, that is En is equal to minus Rh into 1 by n square, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3. These are called principal quantum numbers. This Rh value is going to take as a constant value, that is equal to its value is 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 joule. I mean En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 joule into 1 by n square. So he is going to put the value as n is equal to 1. That is called the energy of the stationary state, first one. E1 is equal to, in the place of n, he is going to put the value 1. E1 is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 into, if you put the value n is equal to 1, that is 1 by 1 square is nothing but the 1 only. Its value is minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 joule. Then he is going to take the second energy state level. E2 is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18. In the place of n, he has put 2 square. So that is 1 by 4. Then it becomes, after multiplication, we are going to get the value as minus 0.545 into 10 raised to minus 18 joule. So what is the significance of this minus sign? Why he has going to take the minus sign? Because when the electron is under the influence of this nucleus, one type of the parameter will be exist here, and one times electrons, what happens, that is not out of the influence of the nucleus. What happens, that state we are going to call as a stationary state, that is equal to n is equal to infinity. So that we are going to call as the ionized hydrogen atom. What happens sometimes, in maximum times, the electron will be under the influence of the nucleus. What happens? when the under the influence of nucleus, the atom is consists of the positive charge and Coulombic force of attraction between the negatively charged particles and positively charged particles that holds called the atom. So right, so due to this is the reason, so he is going to make use of the sign, negative sign. So let's take next one, the energy of an electron in the stationary state of an hydrogen-like atom. So he is going to use the word called hydrogen-like atom. You know that hydrogen, it is called H, right? Its atomic number will be 1 and its weight will be 1, everything will be 1, right? So hydrogen-like atoms means hydrogen containing the electron, how much? 1 electron, right? If I take like atoms means I am going to take helium plus. What do you mean by helium plus? Helium atom number is 2, right? I mean 2 electrons will be there, right? So plus means loss of 1 electron, that is indicates loss of 1 electron. So after losing 2 minus 1, what becomes? 1. 1 is nothing but the hydrogen, like this. So this is called hydrogen atom. This is called hydrogen like atom. If you take the lithium, hydrogen, helium, lithium, I am going to write the charge plus 2. Why? Because lithium contains the 3 electron. When I write the plus 2, this loss of 2 electrons, then becomes again 1, right? So these are called as a hydrogen like atoms. So that value is equal to En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 into Z square by N square in terms of the joule. So here N is nothing but the once again principal quantum numbers and Z is nothing but the atomic number. Okay, so this is the energy of an electron in the stationary state calculation. And last one is Rn is equal to 52.9 into N square by Z square. I mean Rn is equal to A0 into N square by Z square. A0 value will be 52.9 picometer. So this is the equation to find out the radii of the stationary states of an electron of the hydrogen like atom, where Z is nothing but the atomic number. So like this, he is going to combine these classical theories as well as the quantum mechanics. Let's discuss about the limitations of the Bohr's atomic model. He has failed to explain some of the things what he has not explained. So let us discuss here. So first one, it says that it fails to explain the spectra of atoms having more than one electron. I mean, he has focused on only hydrogen elements, hydrogen-like elements. So for example, if I take the helium plus, so it is how many electrons will be there? Only one electron. Similarly, lithium 2 plus electron. I mean, this is also 1 electron will be there. So he has focused only about the 1 electron system, but he has not explained about the what about more than 1 electron. He has not explained. That is 2 electrons, 3 electrons, like multi-electron system. He has not focused about the multi-electron system. That is only 1 electron. That is called hydrogen. Hydrogen means its atomic number will be 1 and the electron will be 1. So like this, he has focused on the 1 electron system. And second one, it could not explain why the angular momentum of electron, that is equal to N into h by 2 pi. He has not explained why that must be equal to this integral multiple. He has not explained anything. He has not given any idea. Right. Third point, it fails to explain the formation of the bonds between the atoms. Formation of the bonds between the atoms. If I take the hydrogen gas, I am going to write like this. So these are the atoms. This is a hydrogen atom. This is a hydrogen atom. Together they are called molecule. But he has not explained about the bonds. How this bond came here, he has not explained anything about this one. How the bond formation takes place here. And next point, Bohr assumed that an electron is located at a definite distance from nucleus and is revolving with velocity around it. So this is against the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So he is going to tell that if I take this atom, this is called nucleus, right? So that is of distance matter. So assume that an electron is located. So like this, electron will be located like this. Right? Anywhere it will be. Okay. At a definite distance from the nucleus. From the nucleus, it may be any distance, and it is revolving with the velocity. It is also revolving with the velocity. So this is against the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So it explains, which is comes under the quantum mechanics also, Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Let me explain later also. And next point is, it could not explain the Stark effect and Zeeman effect. So what do you mean by Stark effect? Stark effect is nothing but the splitting of the lines. We have seen the hydrogen line spectrum, right? There will be splitting takes place. Line will be splitting takes place. The splitting of lines in presence of electric field, that is called Stark effect, and the splitting of the lines in presence of the magnetic field, that is called Zeeman effect. So like this, he has failed to explain these things, but he has not explained. So these are called as limitations of the Bohr's atomic model.